What's up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. All right, so let's talk about rumors. Rumors, it's a very ugly word. It's something that I feel like people fall for every single time. And honestly, the whole thing that I really just want to talk about in this one little video is why you should stop listening to people who deal in traffic in rumors. Whenever you see someone talking about my sources tell me that so-and-so is happening in the MCU. My sources tell me that so-and-so is happening in the DCU. Sometimes I think those rumors are rooted in just a modicum of truth, but more often than not, those rumors are made off of bullshit. I say that because, what was the soup du jour for the past couple of weeks? Actually, I would even dare say for the past couple of months. Is Marvel going to get rid of Kang in the MCU? Are they going to drop Kang as the big bad of this current phase of the multiverse saga of the MCU? And I had seen countless, YouTube channels, Twitter, TikTok, whatever accounts, all of them riding this hype train of will they or won't they, with most people leaning in the they are going to get rid of Kang. Like, I think that was like the main thing that like plagued my timeline across every social media platform. Everyone was saying Jonathan Majors is out. He's done. He's been kicked off of everything. And even if that is true in and of itself, which honestly, I don't think anyone really knows for sure other than Jonathan Majors and Kevin Feige. But that's neither here nor there. The idea that Marvel is going to kick Kang and the whole story arc to the curb, here's where I think people need to calm down. Because like I said, for the past few months, this has been the talk of the town. The Kang is out. They're gonna replace him with Doctor Doom or Galactus or, hell, they might even bring back Ultron. I don't know. But the real truth is, they're not getting rid of Kang. Once again, I can't vouch for the whole Jonathan Majors portion of it. And I honestly don't even care to talk about it. Because honestly, until it is real and actually happening, not a rumor, not conjecture, not someone making up bullshit sources to try and say that they have sources. Looking at you, Grace Randolph. But all of that aside, word got out yesterday that apparently, while everyone was shouting to the rooftops that Kang is over, Deadline recently reported that Michael Waldron, a guy who is literally credited as being the driving force behind the Loki series on Disney+, he's listed as one of its chief developers and writers, he will be taking over writing for Kang Dynasty. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and simplify this because I know every now and again when I post stuff and I make a declarative statement, sometimes people take it as though I'm asking a question or that I'm leaving it open to interpretation. There is nothing open to interpretation about this. If Michael Waldron is in fact working as writer on the Kang Dynasty film, that means Kang is not done because this is something that's gonna take place over time. Kang Dynasty is not coming out tomorrow. It's not coming out next week. This movie likely won't see the light of day. And by light of day, I'm not even talking about a trailer. I'm talking about an actual release date for at least another year or two. As of this current recording, Avengers: The Kang Dynasty is not set to release until May the 1st of 2026, with Avengers: Secret Wars coming out the following year on May the 7th, 2027. And with both of these movies being things that are going to play off of one another, I think it's safe to say Kang is going nowhere. They wouldn't devote an entire movie to that alone. We have seen Marvel change the titles of things pretty often, honestly, especially if there has been a tonal shift in what is to come. Case in point, originally, the Infinity War and Endgame movies we got were literally just going to be called Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. That was really what it was supposed to be from jump, and then they decided that, oh no, we'll just call the first one Infinity War, and the second one, we'll just call it Endgame. This was also largely due in part to the fact that people started taking a negative opinion towards films like the Harry Potter franchise, the Hunger Games franchise, and various other YA novel movie adaptations for releasing the final installment of their movie series as a part 1 and part 2, because what that always meant is that, oh, all the exposition is in the first part and all the action is in the second part. And honestly, that wasn't the case with Avengers, but they wanted to avoid people going into it with that, because it actually terribly hurt the Hunger Games franchise, at least in terms of not making as much money as it could have, and it kind of did a little bit of the same to Harry Potter in, maybe a much lesser extent. We've also seen recently with Agatha, House of Harkness became Coven of Chaos, and that was largely just due to a tonal shift, and we've seen it elsewhere. It happens. But if they were going to be, making a huge change, they would have changed the title of the film. It would no longer be called Avengers: The Kang Dynasty if Kang is being taken off the table. I wish people would calm down about this sort of stuff. And once again, I know there's going to be people who are going to come at me in the comments and say, oh, well, Blerd, you always talk about the quotey fingers rumors and conjecture on the Blerd Cave every Saturday live at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, every Saturday. You do it right here on this channel. And I would say to you, either lady, gentleman, or MB, that no, I don't. When you see me on this channel talking about stuff like this, it's usually either one, me debunking the thing that is being talked about, the rumor in question, or two, I'm thinking about the rumor in a way where I'm not accepting the rumor as truth, and I'm also telling you not to either, but I'm musing about whether or not it's even plausible, and even if it is even something I'd want to see. I'm never just out and out taking a rumor and saying this is fact. As a matter of fact, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, anytime I bring up a rumor, I always say roll safe and take it with a grain of salt. You should not always lean into those MCU, DCU, whatever rumors and conjecture. As a matter of fact, when people talk about how, oh, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is just so mid now that they're just throwing shit at the wall until something sticks, and people are always constantly blasting them for this thing or that thing or the other, I'm gonna go ahead and give you some real talk right here. It's nothing really to do with Marvel per se. It's actually more to do with the people watching the movies. And when I say watching the movies, I mean more specifically the people who go online and terminally absorb so much gossip and rumor that it poisons the perception of the movie or TV show that they're going to get, to the point where there's lots of people I know that went into certain movies expecting certain shit to happen, then blamed Marvel for those things not happening, rather than blame the people who put the lie in their head in the first place. Case in point, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. There were so many people who believed that the character played by Lashana Lynch that ultimately turned out to be Maria Rambeau from another universe, who in that universe happened to be Captain Marvel. There were so many people who believed that was Tom Cruise. It's why when the Marvels came out, I joke so much about Tom Cruise returning to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, to which no one really got the joke, but that's because I guess they just still didn't realize that Tom Cruise was never a reality, at least not in that movie, or any other MCU movie for that matter. But people believed all the hype from all of these other YouTube channels and social media accounts across the internet that, oh, that's Tom Cruise, despite the fact that in every trailer, it's very clear that the person that they were talking about was a black person at the very least, and a black woman at the very most. Last I checked, Tom Cruise does not have textured hair, but what do I know? Anyway, that said, I think if you are one of those people who is so terminally worried about whether or not Kang is going to be the villain in the MCU going forward, I think here's a piece of advice you can take, and I will leave you all with that. If you are that worried about it, I say wait for actual news to come from the actual source. When someone tells you, my sources say, what they're really telling you is 99.9% of the time, and yes, there are sometimes sources, there are very rare instances where people actually legitimately have inside knowledge, inside baseball on something, but 99.9% of the time, when someone tells you, my sources say, that is basically them telling you unabashedly that they made this shit up.